Hello, everyone. This is the Amateur, where we're here to talk life, hobbies, politics, ideologies, what have you. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about dating, and more specifically, online dating, and even more specifically, my personal experience recently with trying to get into online dating. And yeah, so I am recently turned 28. I am an old maid. Don't love that for me, but that is what it is at this time. I'm praying to God for my husband. I'm not desperate. I'm not rushing into anything. Last year when I turned 27, I was really depressed. I was in a state where I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be married by 22. I wanted to be on child 3 by like 26. I want like 5 to 6 kids. So that's where my mind was, and I was just super like not happy that I was not there, because 27 is like the end of the world, obviously, and I felt like such a failure with like my dating and romantic life. And there was a guy that I was talking to, and that just kind of fell through, and it was just not sad, not a great time. But I've had, fortunately, time to like reflect and pray, and making sure that my heart was correct and that I wasn't desiring something more than I was desiring God. But all that to say is I got back into online dating. I don't know why I did that. And just to kind of preface is that I don't like online dating. I'm going to later explain why, because I'm the problem. Obviously, I am terrible with choosing, but I am the problem. I'm the problem. If you're trying to do online dating, I'm not the target audience for online dating. But I didn't realize this until now when I tried it again. But before, I went on a date. I used Hinge. I can't do Tinder or Bumble. They're too provocative, and we're trying to wait until marriage, and that's not the place where you go to. But Hinge, I've heard more positive results, so that's typically like the one that I've used and gone to. But I did Hinge. Super picky, wasn't super looking, and then matched with someone. We went on a date. And this was at a time when I just first moved to the area to go to school, and I was still not actually in the home that I first moved to, because this is like my second place. I was living with my aunt at the time, so I wasn't super stabilized. He lived like an hour away through like heavy traffic.
Are you really gonna let metro traffic get in the way of finding love?
I will.
And he wanted to like hang out, as one should do when they get to know each other. But we went on one date, and he was nice. He was Christian, but he wanted to go on a hike, and that just like stressed me out. And I don't know. I was like, oh gosh, I can't do this. That was like me, and I was so like disrespectful. Like I ghosted him, like never answered any of his messages back again. I just kind of like, I can't do this in my head, and like it went away. I do hope that he's like in a happy marriage and relationship, because that is something that he was looking for himself. Let me keep it going. But for me at the time, and it still is, like I just didn't like how, it's like one of those things where obviously you're dating and you want to date with intention. You date to marry is my goal, but I didn't like the forced intentionality of it, if that makes any sense. And I didn't like that it was through online versus organic. I totally prefer organic, and also I know more now why. So now 2 years later, I'm like, my friends are starting to get back into online dating. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try it, maybe I won't. So 3 weeks before my birthday, I get back on Hinge, and I make my profile. I did have a thirst trap picture, but for the most part, I felt like it was very mindful. Maybe not demure, but it was like cute. We weren't like showing skin. I wasn't in like a bathing suit or anything. It wasn't modest, but it wasn't like I'm here for sex type of thing. And I also got into Facebook dating, which As a side note, I did find it kind of funny looking at the men's posts. Apparently, there's a lot of like trans women or men pretending to be women that are on there, and like the men have to specifically say in their bios like, do not message me if you're not a real woman, if you're not female, if you're not bi, like I'm not into that gayness, blah 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 blah. I just like, there's multiple profiles that like have that explicitly stated, so I'm just kind of wondering how often that it occurs that they're matching with these people who aren't, you know, women. So I just thought it was funny. But I also got onto Facebook dating, but again, this is finals. I'm procrastinating here now, and it's just been something where like, am I ready to date? Like, I don't know. I feel like I want to, but like it's really difficult. And like even just like messaging and like someone's like, I want to call you. I was like, oh, I don't have time for calls. I hate calls. It stresses me out. Like, it takes away my time from the things that I actually want to do, because I cannot talk on the phone and like work or do other things, because I need to give you my attention. You called me for my attention, so now you have my attention, but now that means I'm not studying, I'm not reading, I'm not writing. Maybe if you're my sister, I might like try to cook or do something. Maybe if you're on like FaceTime, I don't know what it is, but like if you're calling, I can barely hear and like understand things. That makes like you have to have my full undivided attention, means I can't do anything else. So I know like a lot of people multitask when they're on their phone. I can only do that if I'm driving or if I'm like FaceTiming. I can like, and it's not like schoolwork or anything. Anyway, so I don't like calls. But people like wanted to call. I'm like, ooh, maybe I need to change my profile to be like, and then it was just like, well, I actually don't even want to meet in person, so like maybe I'll just chat. So again, me, part of the problem. Hi. But the main thing that I realized why I'm the problem with dating apps is that I'm just so superficial on dating apps, and I hate that about myself. And so like I know we hear in like the red pill, MGTOW community and whatnot about, you know, 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack being a thing. Like when I'm on a dating app, like that is totally a thing, and it really shouldn't be. But it's just like, for me, what I realized now, having gone through this experience, was that if I have the option to choose, I'm gonna choose what I'm actually attracted to or what I like. And I like tall when they're tall, and it's like I don't need tall. Like I feel like in real life, 5'6", I say real life, I mean like in person, like 5'7", 5'8", like that's great for me. I don't know if I can do 5'6". My dad is 5'6", so like theoretically I should be, but like be a little bit taller. I mean, I'm not that tall, but like I'm like average height, so like you could be a little bit taller. But like, but on the app, like that 6 feet just sounds like so good. Like even 5'11" is like 5'11". Ugh, like why 5'11" if I can just round up, you know, or if I can just choose someone who's 6 foot, and then in order to know if they have have a 6-pack, usually their shirts are off, and usually if their shirts are off, that's like a thirst trap for really just, you know, sex generally. Not that I would know. That's not been my. I mean, I haven't actually really connected with anyone that I've matched with. But 6-packs and then 6 figures, you can kind of guess by their job, but like, not really. But the main thing though is that physical attractiveness, the height, and there's other factors that obviously I could tell to, like if they profess the Christian faith, don't have kids, they don't smoke. And for me, it's really bad too, like if they don't drink, which is like actually a really great thing for like both mental and physical health. But for me, like what I realize is like if they don't drink, that's like, oh, I don't like that, because I like to make drinks and I like to have fun. I like, if I make a drink, I would want you to taste it. Like I want to be licensed as a bartender, you know? So like that was just, you know, that's just something that, all that to say is that the social media platform, it provides you with these choices. And when you have like, I was having this conversation with another man who was on the apps, and he was like 52, 53. But it's a conversation though, is that there's a lot more men on these apps than there are women. So as a woman, like if I have the option to choose exactly the features that I want, why am I not going to choose that? Why am I like to give the guy who's, you know, 5'10" or 5'9", still looks fine, has a good job, has really nice, great bio that I like would normally like, but like you're not 6 feet, swipe left. That's how I've been. And so there was one guy that I matched with on Hinge. I didn't match with very many. I think I only matched with like 3 on Hinge out of like all the times I looked at it. And there was the guy that I matched with, we had some back and forth. And then he talked about linking up, and I was like, well, my schedule's pretty busy. We are now in the holiday months. Like, I'm traveling. So, like, if you let me know what works for you, I'll adjust my schedule is what I said. But then that was the last thing I said. It was 3 days of, like, silence. I was like, I'm not that desperate. Like, if you're not interested, you're not going to respond. And maybe I could have given more grace, but also he was 5'11". I was like, I'm okay with like deleting my app because at that time I'd already turned 28. My thing was like, by the time I turned 28, if there was like, wasn't like something that I was actually like super interested in, I'm going to delete the app. I deleted the app. So the app is deleted. And that has been my online dating experience as of late. And I'm still on Facebook dating, but I've already said like this is just meant to be chat. Like, I actually really don't mind having these conversations, but they've been dry. And you know, it's really funny too, because a lot of men will be like, oh, don't be boring, be interesting, blah 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 blah. All that to say though is that rarely have I been asked about me or myself. Like, I've started conversations, tried to be engaging, but I mean, the energy needs to be reciprocal for the people that I have matched with. All this to say, though, is that in person, because the people that I have matched with in life, the people that I found attractive, like, they didn't meet those requirements of being, like, 6 feet, having the 6-pack, like, but it was about the vibes. It, like, this was someone that I got along with really well. So it's, like, something where I know that if I'm not in charge of like picking who, I'm very much more comfortable with like just meeting someone that we in person, that we match the same energy or the same kind of like the vibes are vibing, you know, and like the physicalness isn't as important. Like, obviously, like I've said in some previous videos, like I still want to be attracted to whomever I'm wanting to marry, but it's just like that's not the primary thing. And so I know that about myself, that like the superficial things that I can put aside, but when I have a choice of not putting it aside, like I will not do that, which again, all to say is that I am the problem. I am one of the problems with dating apps, online dating apps, which is why I'm not on them anymore. So also, you're welcome. And I'm sure, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe no other woman feels this way on dating apps for why they're the problem. Maybe they're actually successful because they are able to kind of compartmentalize that. But I don't know. I'm probably just gonna join a run club around here or something. I hear those are all the raves to meet new people, but we'll see. What the heck do I know? I'm just an amateur. I know I kind of put myself on blast here for being kind of not a great person with how superficial I can be on dating apps, but it is what it is. I'm nothing if not honest. But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Okay, I do have a bit of a different mic set up. I know some of the feedback that I gotten in some comments was like, girl, get a new mic. So we're trying that, but I know you thought that was the end of the video, and it is in fact not, because update, I do have a boyfriend now. She's off the market, crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm blushing. So I can say that I have a boyfriend. It's kind of crazy. So yes, so I did, I know I left off pretty on a bad note. But you know, I did tell myself like maybe stop being the problem and maybe stop being so superficial and like just accept what you accept, like what you like, and you know, hold some grace if some standards aren't where you think they should be or you might want to be, but like stop being the problem. Like, embrace that you are sometimes superficial and sometimes shallow when it comes to these things, and like, you know, just send it. And so I did. So I did delete my app, and I deleted the Hinge app in November, but then I re-downloaded it, recreated my profile in December, matched with my current boyfriend, And, you know, he is not as conservative as I would like for him to be. But I do like him just as he is and like where his mind is. But I also haven't shared this channel with him yet. So so in my defense, I really wanted to make sure that he is used to me and my personality first before, so that he can come into this channel with a good lens. Like, I don't think he knows like he knows that I'm conservative, and he knows that I'm, well, I say conservative, like I'm a Christian, and my Christian beliefs lean me more towards the conservative side. So he knows that. He knows I voted for Trump. He did not, and all those things, and he still stuck around. So like, that's very transparent and all those things, but still I'm like kind of nervous because I know some of the stuff I say here is pretty inflammatory, but I really do like him, and you know, hopefully this is something, prayerfully, that, you know, this is actually like my future husband, so we'll see. That's kind of oh gosh, oh no. So anyway, so I just wanted to end with that update because it is something that is an update, and I did decide to get out of my own way. So ladies, there's hope for you too. I mean, hopefully, again, this is something that like actually sticks out, but yeah, so maybe just stop getting in your way and maybe things will work out. Like, take that advice to the bank. You heard it here first from the amateur. You're welcome. You know, because I will say with him, I said I was going to keep going and I didn't, but I will say with him, it was because, you know, he did match with me first. So he did like however the Hinge app goes, like it showed that his interest was expressed. It showed that his interest was expressed first. And so I don't know, and I feel like I told him this, but like I don't know if he'd come across my feed first, if I would have swiped right, because he's 5'11". Oh my gosh, the world is ending. So going back to everything, like, I know it said 6 feet, 6-pack, 6 figs. Like, I didn't know, like, he obviously isn't 6 feet, which is fine. Like, it really is. He's perfect. 6 figures. I still don't know how much he makes, you know, and I don't know if like how quick I should or shouldn't ask. Like, this is tax season, so I feel like it's relevant. I don't know if I should ask that. I also don't want him to think I'm like so money focused, but I mean, like, I am, but I'm not. Anyway, and then 6-pack, like, I didn't know what his physique was because he didn't show himself as promiscuously as he could have. He does have a 6-pack. I can say, oh my gosh, I can say that, but like everything else doesn't necessarily meet that, like, that kind of superficial requirements, but, you know, professes the faith, being able to pray together, wanting to wait until marriage. And so those are the things that are really, well, I'll say willing, willing to wait until marriage. And so those are the things that are really important to me. All that being said, though, is I don't know if his whole profile had come across mine first, if I would have swiped right or not. I don't know if it matters because I did, and as of now, I can claim that he's mine. And it is what it is. But again, all that to say is that at the end of the day is to accept what it is that you want. You just understand who you are, what you want, embrace it, and maybe you can be more successful on the dating apps if your intention is actually to get off the dating apps. At least that's what I did. So if it works for me, maybe it can work for you. But what the heck do I know? I am just an amateur. Thanks for sticking around for this extra little bonus that you got to receive in my personal life. And the next videos, whenever I do get to post them, probably won't be as personal, but still. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.